Good afternoon. Good afternoon. The Arts Council for Monterey County welcomes you to the launch of our weekly online segment, Artist Spotlight. I am Karen Lee Garcia, the Programs Director for the Arts Council for Monterey County, and I manage our arts education, artworks at Pacific Grove, and our other community arts programs. And today I am pleased to welcome one of our teaching artists and artworks at Pacific Grove tenants, Kenton Hoppas. So let me share a little bit more about who Kenton is. So Kenton Hoppas has created murals for businesses, shoe designs for Samuel Hubbard, and created the illustrations for Mayim Bialik's best-selling children's book, Boying Up. When he's not drawing or sleeping, he's riding his bike or working full-time as a sign artist at Trader Joe's. He is currently working on illustrations for a new book by Temple Grandin and pitching mural projects to anyone who has a wall and a vision to create more smiles in the world. So welcome, Kenton, to our first Artist Spotlight. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Yeah, so I want to start at the beginning and learn a little bit more about how you got connected to working with the Arts Council and partnering with us. So let's start there.
Okay. Well, I've been in Monterey for 6 years now, and I started just, doing art on my own shoes. And I just started, doing a lot more art on my own. But it was probably about 2 years ago that, it's less than a year. Just a year ago, I just knew I had to connect with other people in the art community. And so I just got online, started searching, looking for spaces and places. And I think that's when I connected with you guys. I found you online and I thought that is so cool that they put local artists in the schools to teach. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know if I'd be a good fit or not. I had no idea what that meant. And I had never taught in schools before necessarily. But you guys put me in a school to teach. Yeah. And it was a blast. And then I guess where we kept connecting was I came back to you guys when I was looking for a studio space, because it's pricey to get your own standalone studio space. And that's not even what I wanted. I wanted a studio space where I would be working alongside other artists, to connect with other working artists. And I guess all roads, lead to Rome, but in Monterey, all roads lead to the Arts Council. So.
Yeah, it was, I remember getting your email and opening up your website and being totally blown away and wondering, who is this guy and why have we heard of him? And at the time, I think I remember saying, I don't think we have any opportunities. I actually think at that point I said, I don't think we have any opportunities. And I probably contacted you like 2 to 3 weeks later and was like, do you want to work at one of our schools? So partnering you with Monterey Peninsula Unified School District, and that was such a great, and successful program. And then, like you mentioned, the studio space that you were able to rent are affordable spaces at part of Artworks. And then we moved into a new office, which I'm located in now in our Seaside office. And we have this mural behind us. So let's talk about that. So this is one of Kenton's murals and office space. And we contacted you and said, hey, do you want to do a mural? I mean, that's how pretty much like simple as it was. And you're like, absolutely. So I was lucky enough today to be able to be in this space to show everybody here. So I think you have a little video about the process if you want to quickly show us.
Yeah, I'll show that video in a second, Karen. I want to talk about kind of going back a year to what led up to that mural. So once again, I think there's so many awesome resources, but I went to the internet And I just was obsessed with murals, 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 and everything I saw on the internet and every single mural artist I contacted on the phone or ran into in person. I was in San Diego driving home, and I'm like, I've got to go to this gas station to get gas. And there happened to be a mural artist who had painted the mural on the wall, touching it up. Everybody said, you just paint a mural no matter what, and even for free or anything, and one mural will lead to the next. And so I guess I kind of want to tell people that's how it's been working too. I did the Workhorse Bicycle mural, which led to the Arts Council mural, which led to another mural that on a store that never opened. But it's really true what, like, finding people that have done things before you that really lead the way. But yeah, I will show you. I'll grab the screen here, and just to preface, this is just a short video on how I made murals even inside my house. Right. So let's open up. Okay, let me get the video. Okay, so that was that. And then from there, you can see my daughter and I have started to color it in. But yeah.
I love that. We shared that the other day on our Facebook page and on our website of how to create a home mural. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, I really encourage you. And I haven't had a moment to buy, thicker paper or actually start cutting up, our grocery bags yet, but I know my daughter will love this activity. It's like cool. Painting on a wall. Come on, let's do it. Yeah. So that was really great. And I wanted, because you have been creating more online content and for the Arts Council and sharing it out on your YouTube channel. So I do want to have you speak a little bit more about, how you're staying creatively inspired right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's a great question, Karen. And when the shelter in place went into place, I was like a lot of people thinking, how am I going to reinvent myself, like staying at home, because we had to move out of the art space that we worked in. And so I brought everything home. And the way I've stayed inspired is I started calling some of my other friends. I started seeing my other friends just do some really cool stuff. Like I have a friend, Wade, who's a fine artist in San Diego. He ended up really amping up his online store and doing a lot of cool things. So I got on the phone and I talked to him for an hour. And then I have another friend who's a ceramics art teacher in San Diego, who he started doing the most amazing, and I'll give him 100% of the credit for my inspiration to start creating this online content. Mm-hmm. Because his videos were they were just so funny that I'm like, I need to start making some videos too. So that's really, I guess that's the best way to answer your question, is I just started getting inspired by my friends that have always inspired me. And I was kind of like a little kid. I was just like, I'm going to do what my friends are doing.
Right. And then the timing ended up working out well because you were getting inspired by your friend. And then I reached out and said, because at that time you were working once a week at Rancho Cielo with some adult youth some youth in the community in Salinas. And that work had just disappeared, right? Because you
Yeah.
weren't going to be heading to that space any longer. And then I contacted you and said, hey, we really need some online content because we're pivoting. You know, we're no longer able to go into the schools and to the community centers that we partner. Are you able or interested? And you were like, actually.
Yeah.
So you've been really pumping out some really great videos, really great lessons for the youth and for just our community in general.
Mhm. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So I know that you've also, just I think just in general, you're like just a doodler and you're, constantly working on things. I don't know if you want to show us a few of your other designs that you've been working on, kind of either in the past or now, or how you're keeping these projects going.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'll share some things.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'll grab the screen in a second.
Sure.
And I think while this global pandemic has been, I mean, it hasn't been great for the world, of course, but I I really think that it's allowed me to feel almost like unplugged in the nervousness about moving forward professionally, and allowed me to just relax and have fun, because I felt so disconnected from pitching murals to going into businesses and hitting the streets and being out there and am I doing enough? Am I doing enough? Am I doing enough? And I think I'm the most happy with my work when I have the most fun. So I'll grab the screen and show you how I started just staying engaged. Let me see here, share desktop. Well, I'll start here. This, my screensaver right here.
Right. That's so cool.
I make posters as promotion, self promotion, and I think this is the same thing, but we have the annual bike event, and even though the bike event got canceled, I'm like, this is just a great time to spend finishing this poster.
Right.
And there's another, I think we had talked about earlier. There's a lot of industries out there that I enjoy, like the surf industry, that you can make connections online still. And so I've had it on my to-do list to submit surfboard designs to a local company or a company down south in Southern California. That's another way I've been staying busy and just trying to have fun. I guess I can't stress how important it is for me to have fun when I'm working on stuff. And I was all stressed out about this design or creating a surfboard design because I started thinking, what am I going to do that people are going to like? And then that's when I knew I couldn't draw anything. So I stopped, I turned on the radio, and I heard a Beastie Boys song. And I just start. So this one's called Burgers and Fries and Picking Your Nose. And no one may buy this, but I don't care. I think it's the most fun thing I've done all year. So what else have I been working on while I'm
really cool
at
sticker.
home? Oh yeah, maybe it's going to be a sticker. So these are 3, if you can see my screen, these are all drawn digitally, and then I superimpose them with Photoshop onto buildings. And then I call the owner of the building and I ask if if they're open to discussing, a mural project. And that's it. There's no end of the story yet because this is all work in progress. Right. And they either say no, or they say, maybe we'll think about it. And then I just move on. This is another one that I made a proposal for. I'd really love to see, that happen, of course.
Right.
So that's a really great way to stay busy. And I guess the last thing I'll say about staying busy is I've actually had some people reach out to me because they can't do anything. I can't go there. They can't come here. And they're like, well, can we send you stuff to do art on? And, thank God for the USPS. And so this is a surfboard I did during quarantine.
So somebody actually sent you this surfboard.
Yes.
Wow.
So let's see if I have the other one. Yeah. So they mailed it to me, and it is exactly the maximum length for the post office it can't be longer than this, I think.
Okay.
So it worked out well.
That is such a cool. And did they also, they just said, go for it. Did they give you some ideas of things that they wanted to see on the surfboard?
Yeah, well, that's a great question because it goes back to having fun. And I do find myself getting stressed out when there's the anticipation or expectation of making someone else happy. And whether it's I mean, that can be in all our lives and all our relationships. But I know that with this one, I try to prompt people sometimes people say, I don't care, just go crazy. But I work with music a lot and as inspiration. So I think the girl that owned the surfboard's 11. So I had her and her mom put together a playlist of music that she liked.
Right.
And then she sent me a handwritten list of all the things that she liked, like pineapples and baking and things like that. So that's just kind of my work method.
Yeah, so you went from there. So it seems like, you're staying motivated during this time, and obviously you're working pretty much full time at Trader Joe's also as a sign artist. And is there any other ways that, or anything that's different right now, or things that you're looking forward to in the future, maybe when shelter in place is lifted? Anything that maybe has changed or you're looking forward to?
Yes. Shelter in place has finally, I guess, just lit a fire under my butt to open an online store. Since the internet, I'm old enough, like I'm pre-internet. I was in college. My last year in college, someone said something about an email address, and I'm like, that sounds stupid. And then I just went on, and all of a sudden the internet started, and I've just never embraced online stores with my art and stuff like that.
Right.
But due to this shelter in place, and also doing custom art on small objects like coffee mugs and I guess I'd call them high friction objects.
Right.
That are smaller, it's just not affordable for someone like for me to take the time to draw on a mug. And it's not, it's just, I guess financial sense, it just makes sense that I would have a store that people could buy some of this stuff. So
you're gonna actually
talk to me next week. I'm gonna hopefully have my online store open tonight. But
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I know.
This is an exclusive right now. I didn't know that was happening.
Well, I wrote it on my list to have one product on my online store up tonight. So that's my goal. So now I'm saying it live. You can hold me to it.
Now that it's live, we're streaming live.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go onto your website later tonight, and see if it's there.
Yeah, I'll post it to my Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, because that's another thing, Karen, is I got rid of my website this spring. I really feel like, and this is not a question you even ask, I'm just rambling. Just as my own personal workflow, I felt like the website was something I couldn't keep updated. Ultimately, most of the people I talk to want to see Instagram. It's such a great portfolio site. So I use Instagram as my portfolio site, YouTube as long form video site, and I'm going to go with tonight a Shopify site. So I don't even know what my, site link will be yet, but it'll be something probably Shopify Kenton Hoppas. So I'm just
that's interesting. We were actually talking about that in our in our staff meeting yesterday about artists who have a website presence and those who have decided just to solely use Instagram because it focuses just on visuals. And I think it's great. I think you're great on and I do encourage everyone to find you on Instagram because I think it works because you're all constantly on there, right? You're sharing your doodling, you're sharing, I think I saw that, and I think I saw this on Instagram. You were like, I think I found an empty spot on my car that I need to doodle on.
Yeah.
It's like, there's Kenton. He's like creating all the time, you know, anytime you have a moment. So I think that that's when Instagram really works for artists. But yeah, I think, you know, I do think it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation about the website versus not having it and all of that. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know, to play my own devil's advocate, some people's work, it's not necessarily best shared as a square, like a really small square. You really have to see the enormity of it. But you know, that's where I try to use YouTube also to show process videos to see how it's made. And ultimately, that's why I drew on my car, and it's so that people can see it, you know, driving around and stuff like that. So
exactly. A lot of comments. Who's that guy? Share right now that we need to know about you. You have a couple, you know, you have some illustrations you're working on for a new book. Is there a deadline for when we can expect to see that?
well, in the world of children's publishing, I'm no expert. This is only my second book I've worked on. And so with COVID-19 and shelter in place, everything's kind of been waylaid. So I have no idea. I know my deadline has already passed, but we're just waiting on more final text.
Right.
It's going to be, I will tell you about a little about the book. It's going to be
Please
awesome.
do.
It's called Outdoor Scientist. And so I've read the book. And when I read the book, I got so excited. I practically did all of the experiments. They're all about like doing experiments down by the beach or doing craft projects in the woods with pine cones, building paper airplanes and stuff. So I did all of the projects, not all, but a lot of them as I was doing the illustrations. So I'm excited for the book to come out, but that won't be probably until I imagine next year.
Next year sometime. Well, we'll definitely look out for that. And so we're just going to wrap up right now. So we talked a little bit about it, but where can we find you online?
Well, the best way is just at Kenton Hoppas on Instagram and YouTube.
Wonderful.
And it's at Kenton Hoppas, Facebook. I'm just trying to stick with my name in all the social media aspects. But I say start with Instagram. That's the best place.
That's great. And also, you can find Kenton Hoppas not only on your videos on YouTube, but also come to our website, artsfornc.org, and search for Arts for Home. You're also sharing your videos there too, which we're distributing out to our schools and organizations that we're in partnership with. So that's wonderful. And thank you so much for joining us today. I know you have a super busy schedule, so appreciate your time. And we're happy to connect with you here on our first Artist Spotlight.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Karen. It's been fun.
Thank you. So stay tuned for another Artist Spotlight next week at noon. And be sure to comment and share. If you or your arts organization are interested in being featured, please email info@artsfornc.org, and that is the number 4. And to learn more about the Arts Council for Monterey County, visit us at artsfornc.org. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.